Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411, kind of a okay, so we're just going to apologize right now. Cookie is like all over me and I cannot. Oh, she just hopped down.
It looked like you had a black fuzzy purse strap. The way her tail was like wrapped halfway around your neck.
Although I guess I'll just give a warning because she was also, when she was up on my lap, was all over the microphone. So
you just need to help, man.
I know. Yeah, that's a good segue into speaking of help. Today we're talking about Lucy Coe, and we are reading a write-up given to us by our fan Kim Hudson. She was one of our fan spotlights a couple years ago. She wrote in about Lucy, and then after we did our fan spotlight, or before, when did we do it? I think it was January is when we talked to her. I forget. She went ahead and updated it and got us at least closer to where we are right now. So we are currently in, well, it's May 3rd, 2026. So it's the first week in May. So at least going to get us closer. I love that she changed the font whenever she wrote Lucy Coe. She did it in a nice script, nice and girly script. And she gave us her sources of General Hospital fandom, the list, Soap Central, Wikipedia, and my own body memory.
I love that. I'm going to start using that because that is where a lot of my information comes from.
I agree. Well, that's how we get most of our ideas too, is, oh, wait, I forget about that. We should research that. There we go. So Lucy Coe first appeared on General Hospital in 1986. If she had taken every one of her husband's last names, she'd be Lucy Coe Jones, Quartermaine, Baldwin, Stanton on Port Charles, and Collins. So if we included, I want to know who has the longest name.
Can they print all that on a social security card? I feel like that's a problem. Or on your driver's license? Like, it'll just take me 5 minutes to sign my name. Don't worry about it.
I want to know which woman, I think it might be Laura, because she went back and forth. Or could it be Carly?
I was going to say.
With how many times she's been Corinthos.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a fun 411.
That would be.
All right. So she has been a librarian, daycare manager, CEO of multiple companies, part owner of a blues club, an author, a tour guide, and a real estate agent who does not follow a lot of laws. Just what? Who said that? Lucy has a thing for Kevins. When we first met her as a stereotypical mousy librarian eyewitness in the murder of, deep breath, Bobby's stepdaughter Terry's fiance, Kevin O'Connor. Kim, I'm already loving this so much. Oh,
right?
Oh, that was the other thing. So we did not read this. We did not pre-read it because we decided you were reading it to us. This is how we would be receiving it. So this is how we are also reading it.
Yes.
I never watched Lucy earlier. Did you ever watch
Nope.
any? I just know like the couple of scenes that we see of her, that her hair was always like kind of like done up like in one of those what you would think of like a 1950s librarian. And like no makeup.
Yep.
And very oversized clothing.
Yeah.
Or like not as stylish as she is now.
Yeah, like she's very flashy now. And
that's a better, yeah.
And she shows off some skin, not in like scandalous ways, unless it's the nurse's ball where her clothes are falling off. But in like day-to-day settings, she shows off what she has. And the librarian clothes were like covered up, modest.
She was, yes. I think she was more than modest whenever she, at least from what I can picture in my mind. So Kevin O'Connor was accused of murdering Harry's grandmother for an inheritance. And Lucy eventually said on the stand, Kevin had been in her library at the time of the murder. Why do we never hear Lucy talking about her time as a librarian?
I don't know. That would be fun.
I so badly want Sidwell to bring up, oh, when I was doing my research on you, I found out that you used to be a librarian.
Yes.
So it turns out that Lucy wasn't what she seemed. She and Kevin were having an affair, but as he ended up falling off a cliff, the romance didn't last.
I hate when my relationships end that way.
But we all know that could still come back.
Right.
In 1987, Lucy consoled herself with Bobby's then husband, the lawyer Jake Myers. Their one-night stand led to an unplanned pregnancy, which ended in a miscarriage. And I think that we talked a good bit about that probably when we were doing our Bobby recap.
Mm-hmm.
Next up was Bobby's future husband, Tony Jones. With help from Aunt Charlene, Lucy wiggled her way into the widower's heart and home in 1988. And he was a widower of Tanya.
Yes.
Wait, yeah, it was Tanya, right?
Yeah, that was BJ's mom, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just double guessed, second guessed that name. Lucy did try to be a good stepmother. One day, little BJ Jones drank nail polish remover while Lucy was supposed to be keeping an eye on her, and Tony was furious. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
But it was actually Lucy's supposed infidelity with Scott Baldwin that made Tony file for divorce. Well, that and overhearing her tell Aunt Charlene that she hated Frisco and was glad that he was dead. And Frisco is Tony's brother.
Yes.
Frisco was thought to have been killed while on a secret mission for the WSB and was considered a fallen hero in Port Charles. Then on to Alan in 1989. We all know that Alan Quartermaine had a roving eye and a short attention span when it came to women in his younger years. Monica certainly had her lovers. Tim, I love you. It's even better that I'm the one reading this.
Right?
But
Yep.
and so did he. At first, Lucy could not conceive Alan to walk away from Monica. Lucy could not convince Alan to walk away from Monica, perhaps because that would mean walking out of her house. But using Scotty to make Alan jealous, Lucy was able to blow up the Quartermaine marriage in a very public way. This led to a walk down the aisle in an unforgettable red dress and enormous not to happily ever after. Lucy kept getting distracted by Scotty, had a pregnancy she tried to pass off as Alan's, tragic miscarriage, and an inevitable divorce. You would think that helping Lucy hide the body of mob boss Victor Jerome, who was obsessed with Lucy and died after swallowing a heart-shaped pendant he had made as a gift for her, would have been enough to solidify their bond. Alan and Lucy were not meant to be. And even though Scotty was still there waiting for her, Lucy left town for a fresh start in New York City with an advertising executive, Greg Bennett. Nope, I was thinking Barrett. Yep, sorry, that's where that. Greg Bennett. He eventually fires and dumps Lucy. Ouch. And she returns to Port Charles, hoping to pick back up with Scotty, her old standby. But Scotty was not just standing by, he had also moved on with Dominique Stanton, beautiful heiress with a heart of gold. Potential rivalry quickly became a friendship and led to the founding of Deception Cosmetics. Lucy, Scotty, and Julia Barrett were the brains, while Dominique provided first face of deception. Unfortunately, Dominique had a terminal brain tumor. Scotty and Dom had a deep, true love, and Lucy had to respect that. In fact, she respected it so much, she offered to carry their child as surrogate. Now Lucy shows another side of herself, compassionate and generous. She is able to share the sound of baby Serena's in vitro heartbeat with Dominique before she passes. Baby Serena is born in a cabin during a snowstorm. Perhaps that rugged beginning is what led to the fearless warrior for animal rights around the globe. I like that. Now that she has become a mother, surely Lucy settled down and kept out of trouble. This is still a soap opera, and where would the fun be in a well-behaved Lucy? After Scotty leaves town, something about the mob, which since it's Scotty that fits, Lucy falls into her old scheming ways while flirting with very, very bad boy, Damian Smith. The two had a bet he couldn't get Bobby, who is now married to Lucy's ex, Tony, to sleep with him. The spell begins. This spells the beginning of the end. The real end would be Tony in bed with Carly, FYI, for the Joneses, but somehow this doesn't make Lucy happy. But Damian does do something positive. It's his suggestion and funding that leads to the first nurses' ball in 1994. Lucy actually co-chairs it with Bobby and, of course, ends up in her underwear on stage during the finale. $500,000 is raised for the AIDS pediatric unit and associated outreach programs, so it's all worth it. In 1995, Sonny Corinthos, the legitimate coffee importer, sold his shares of Luke's Blues Club to Lucy. Luke and the new to the mob, Jason Morgan, wished Lucy would be more of a silent partner than she sometimes was. Lucy has someone to focus her attention on. Bring on Kevin number 2, Doc. And so this is Kevin Collins. This is current Laura's husband, Kevin Collins.
I loved her with Kevin.
I love that she called him Doc.
Yep.
In town for the aftermath of His deranged identical twins killing and kidnapping and chaos catches the eye of Miss Coe. Perhaps a psychologist was what our girl needed all along. It wasn't always a fairy tale, however.
In 1997, Lucy convinces Kevin to come to terms with who his brother was. So Kevin gets the brilliant idea to pretend to be Ryan to better understand him. I just feel like that is so ridiculous. Like, who would do that?
And just a reminder that this is Ryan Chamberlain, who we
Yes.
also did a 4 or 5 part series on.
Yes. Kevin has a psychological break and begins to fixate on Felicia, harassing her anonymously. When he traps Felicia in a secluded cabin, it's always a secluded cabin, Lucy, against the better judgment of Commissioner Mack and current Felicia love interest Tom Hardy, Lucy busts in, frees Felicia, and is able to talk Kevin down. She sticks by his side through his trial and recovery, fighting for his freedom and reputation even when he gives up on himself. Together with her pet duck Sigmund, Lucy and Kevin make a cozy pair in the town lighthouse. Did you remember Port Charles had a lighthouse? It was originally home to Sky and Bill. Looks a
Sly.
lot like Luke Eckerd. Sly and
Sly.
Bill. Sorry. Sly and Bill look alike Luke Eckerd. I don't think I did remember that.
We did because we just talked about it with who was murdered there. It was during the cartel.
Okay, I'm glad you do because I don't. Okay, now things are going to get weird because we are entering the parallel universe of Port Charles, the show, not the town. Goes on to say she did not keep up with this one, so bear with me, which we didn't either, so we're all good. From
Yeah.
97 to 2003 or 2004, depending on what viewing market you lived in, Lucy and some of her neighbors were having a wild time in Port Charles right under everyone at General Hospital's nose. Funny how Alexis and Sunny never ran into any vampires or angels, but they seemed to be all over the place for Lucy and her pals. Kevin is inspired to write the novel General Homicide. The novel is so good it incites a copycat killer and Kevin is stabbed. He recovers, the killer is revealed, Lucy gets pregnant, and a double wedding for Lucy, Kevin, Felicia, and Mac is planned. Sadly, Lucy miscarries again. Meanwhile, Scotty returns to town looking for a missing Serena. You had one job, Scotty. He accuses Lucy of taking her, but it was actually Dominique's half-sister. No, not Catherine Bell, sorry. Danielle Ashley and Uncle Rex Stanton. They wanted access to that sweet, sweet trust fund. Lucy marries Rex to be close to Serena and protect her. Eventually, Rex and Danielle are thwarted and Serena is returned to Scott. Lucy is jealous of Scott's new love interest, Dr. Eve Lambert, and stages a car accident so she can play hero for Serena. What actually happened is Serena is injured in the accident and loses her sight. Serena's sight is eventually restored, and Eve figures out what Lucy did. She reveals the truth to Kevin. Oh, sorry. She reveals the truth
Oh,
to
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yep.
Okay.
You're good. She reveals the truth to Kevin, who calls off the wedding. Then Kevin and Eve begin to date, and that's a whole other storyline. And Scotty is back. Again, Lucy and Scotty reconnect, marry, and get a swag bag baby at the nurse's ball. Is that
What's
better
a
than...
swag bag baby? Wait, what?
I don't know, but I love it because then she says,
We,
is that
we
better?
did a thing about the nurse's ball. What?
Is that better than yogurt or hand lotion? The baby's mother, Julie, decides she wants her baby back, and a custody fight ensues. Lucy discovers that Scotty adopted the baby under his name only, so she has no legal rights. When Julie takes off with the baby, Lucy blames Scotty, and they're over. Again, for now. Kevin and Lucy reconcile, and Kevin discovers he has a long-lost daughter, Livy. She will be long-lost again when Port Charles is canceled and Livy turns into Sam McCall. Things are weird in Port Charles, which is news, and Lucy figures out that Caleb the vampire is sulking about. She convinces Kevin that this is really happening, and then, after a trip to Transylvania, Lucy learns that she is a vampire slayer. Naturally, add that to her resume. She helps to rid the town of supernatural evil while still running the nurse's ball.
We really need to see if we can find Port Charles and watch it.
Oh my God, it would be so good. Then an angel named Paige
What?
Smith moves into the lighthouse with Kevin and Lucy, intending to take Kevin and Serena to be her family. Lucy helps redirect the angel to her true mission and gets her out of their lives. Magic candles. Lucy helps fund a candle side hustle. The candles seem to have powers over people. Kevin's daughter Livy thinks they are witchcraft. Kevin goes to the candle shop, meets the spirit of Angel Paige's ancestor, Rebecca, and then disappears. Rebecca has taken Kevin to Barndune, the discount Bridgerton, I guess. Or Bridgerton, I
Brigadoon.
guess.
Brigadoon. Bridgerton wasn't a thing yet.
Right? Lucy uses her psychic powers to find Doc. He sends her a drawing of herself through space, and another angel named Rafe, who is also Lucy's cousin, lights a magic candle and helps Lucy retrieve Doc from the other side. Not the other side of the river, though. That would be Pennsylvania. Oh my God, this is so good. We really do need to.
I know.
Oh, wow. Kevin doesn't have much time to enjoy being back in the real world. His surprised daughter, Livy, injects him with psychotropic drugs, which makes him believe he is Ryan. Despite treatment, Kevin gets worse and is suspected of murder. Lucy leans on her friend Ian, falling in love with him as Kevin slips further into madness. As if that wasn't enough, the Stephen Clay Experience band rolls into town, playing a song that mesmerizes everyone who hears it, except Lucy and her cousin Rafe, of course. And hey, Stephen Clay looks exactly like that vampire Caleb and a few other folks we know. Poor Ian gets fanged, but he and Lucy learn that he's less bloodthirsty when they make love. Ew, that is
Ew.
ew. She wrote
I mean,
ew,
she
but
wrote that
Ryan-
in parentheses, but both of us had that reaction.
Exactly. A healing spring runs under Port Charles. How much stuff is under Port Charles? Is it stable? And Lucy and her friends come up with a plan to dunk all the vampires in it. This amazing plan does not work. Lucy begins to get sick. Turns out her vampire slayer blood is poisoning her. This probably makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, Port Charles is canceled before any of this can be reconciled. But fortunately, that means General Hospital gets Lucy back. She and Kevin make a brief appearance in 2004 at Lila's funeral, and then are off the canvas until the two other angels bring them back to our world.
Then in 2012, so there was that whole that was a big break.
That was a big break.
Nurses Sabrina and Felix, our angels. Wait, were they the angels on Port Charles?
They couldn't have been. No.
Oh no, because that would have been okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
No.
she's just saying like they were our angels, like
Right.
because they decided to revive the nurses' ball, which
Yes.
hadn't been held since 2001. Lucy really had her hands full of wooden stakes and magic candles, so who can blame her for dropping the ball? Felix and Sabrina reach out to Lucy Co., owner of Coco Cosmetics. Turns out that brand is just a pyramid scheme. Oh, Lucy. Then Lucy comes back to Port Charles to help get funding for the ball, then has a mental break and stabs John McBain, thinking he's a vampire. He's the vampire Caleb Morley. The likeness is incredible. And so, for everyone who doesn't realize this is Vampire Cop Doctor, my husband likes to say Michael Easton. So, this was when John McBain came to General Hospital from One Life to Live, walked into Kelly's, and Lucy was sitting there. Didn't she like break a chair to make
She
the
did.
stake?
She was
Yeah.
going to stake him. Yep.
Yep. So then Lucy ends up in Ferncliff and makes the brilliant decision to break out with Heather Weber and Franco. What could go wrong? They all wind up at Windermere, where Lucy eventually finds herself alone with Caleb. Eventually, it is revealed that Caleb Morley is the vampire persona of Stephen Clay, the deranged rock star. Charges are dropped. Lucy is shown Caleb/Stephen's dead body, and it's all over. Except it isn't. The medical examiner is really Stephen or Caleb, and maybe one day we'll learn that Finn's actually left the show because it's too sunny in Port Charles and he was a vampire all along. I like that theory. And actually, that just made me think of Silas was a General Hospital character, but they had to get rid of all the One Life to Live characters because of that lawsuit and everything. I'm surprised that they didn't get in trouble for like expanding and kind of taking one of the
Yeah,
characters and making. I wonder if there was anything there with that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I never thought about that before.
Mm-mm.
Then the 2013 Nurses Ball almost didn't happen, but an anonymous donor comes through. Lucy tries to help Scotty wed Laura in a quickie courthouse wedding, but Lulu goes missing, so the event no one wanted is canceled, thankfully. And then Lucy is frustrated because Doc is always working or out of town. At least he's not in Barnadoon anymore because I'm sure he couldn't even do FaceTime from the other realm. She decides to fill up her time with deception, roping Laura in on her plans to revive the brand. But Laura has to go to Paris, so deception is the next project. Scotty! No, Lucy. She's decided to help Scotty with his 2013 campaign for district attorney. As anyone could have predicted, they eventually began to sleep together. Lucy feels guilty for her disloyalty to Kevin, but cannot help herself. Yes, you could.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty begs her to leave her marriage, and she refuses. Everything comes crashing down when she and Scotty are caught in a passionate kiss on stage in front of everyone at the nurses' ball. That like on a bale of hay, too.
Yeah, that was the most recent one. So why is Lucy still doing the nurses' ball? I would be afraid to be any part of that because it keeps revealing bad stuff, and she just needs to stay away from Scotty.
Yes. Lucy tries to win Doc back, and Scotty tries to convince Lucy it's over. When she finally faces reality, she discovers that Scotty has been playing a lot of the old hit. He's sleeping with Bobby. Scotty has to break up a physical fight between these two grown women, and Lucy forces him to choose. She doesn't like his answer. Bobby Spencer wins this round. In 2017, Lucy puts her devotion for the nurses' ball ahead of what is right when she blackmails Ava Jerome. Lucy discovers that Ava switched Morgan Corinthos' medication, causing him to have a mental health episode that ultimately leads to his death. Instead of turning Ava in, Lucy squeezes her for a donation.
2019 is a big year for Lucy. She publishes a travel guide to Port Charles and gets promotional help from Maxie Jones. She also meets Sasha Gilmore and sees a new face of deception before her. She teams up with Nina Reeves to get the brand back off the ground, but when Maxie Jones quits Nina's magazine, Nina accuses Lucy of poaching her best employee and walks away from deception. Lucy turns to Victor Cassadine for the cash, and deception is back. Sort of. The face of deception, Sasha, becomes addicted to cocaine, and the voice of deception, Brooklyn Quartermaine, has her throat slashed by local lunatic Nell Benson. Lucy fires Brooklyn when she's caught lip syncing during a client presentation. Sasha goes through many personal struggles, but makes it back to represent deception with a new co-face, Cody Bell, the son of the mother of Lucy's surrogate baby and the son of her best friend's husband. Everyone in Port Charles gets involved with the Cassadines eventually, and Lucy is no exception. When Anna Devane is working in 2022 to find out what Victor Cassadine is up to, she enlists Lucy Coe's help. Lucy plays along, gathering what information she can, but Victor is pretty smart and knows what's up. Lucy is shot by Holly Sutton, disguised as Anna, on the docks one night in an effort to eliminate pesky Lucy and frame Anna. Anna, Valentine, and Lucy are all believed by the people of Port Charles to be dead after a failed rescue attempt, but they are really hiding out in a safe house. Lucy is not very good at the hiding out part, especially since Maxie and Bobby are planning the nurses' ball without her. Lucy reveals the safe house to Victor, and the cover is blown. Lucy seems to find real, normal love with Martin Gray, the Silver Fox lawyer who is also her ex-husband's current wife's half-brother. Initially flirting with a Santa she thought was Kevin, sparks flew when the beard came off. The problem? Martin was Valentine's lawyer and Valentine was Deception's underwriter. Valentine advised Martin to keep his relationship with Lucy on the down low, but Lucy is notoriously bad at secrets. Lucy and her team take deception public, and Lucy and Martin take their relationship public as well. Suspecting Martin was hiding something, Lucy asks Felicia to put her gumshoes back on. They discover that Martin hid the hefty alimony payments he was receiving from one of his many ex-wives, and Lucy fumes because of that money was too much to trade away for another trip down the aisle. Martin accidentally causes even more trouble for Lucy when the brilliant idea he gave her for their skincare tool, the Deceptor, turns out to have originated with the same ex-wife, Blair. Blair teams up with Tracy Quartermaine to grab a big chunk of deception and Lucy's precious ELQ share from Lucy as a gift for Brooklyn Quartermaine. Lucy is driven mad with the thought of revenge and is teaming up with her favorite partner in slime, Scotty, to get revenge on Tracy, who is way too smart for either of them. Unfortunately, all of that scheming leads to a literal roll in the hay on the set of a barnyard-themed photo shoot, and Martin catches Lucy and Scott with incriminating hay hair, and that was that. I knew that it
So
wasn't
that was with Martin, not Scott, or not Kevin.
Yes, I knew it was more recent, but I couldn't remember where the hay was, like what it was before. So it was a photo shoot. But you can't keep our Lucy down. When the absolute worst possible bachelor rolls into town, Lucy is on him like drone strikes on secret African mining camps. Jens Sidwell charms our favorite real estate agent with compliments, attention, and diamonds. But look out, Lucy. Ava Jerome is a worthy contender. It is unclear if Jens cares for either woman or if he's just enjoying the show. Either way, girls, you are currently in danger and thus should run from this man. Just ask Anna. I don't think he cares about either of them. He's a slime ball, but that's my personal. Lucy
I think that he has started to care more about Ava just because of Marco. I think that I think he feels an emotional connection to her, not necessarily romantic, but I think that he
kind of like Cyrus had that turnaround. We're just gonna agree to disagree here.
Shush. No, but I think that it surprised him that like he actually was like, wait, you can actually understand what I'm going through right now. But at the same time, he's still probably using her for stuff, but the unexpected connection that came from a tragedy.
Yeah, I think you're just a pushover. Lucy is a schemer, a scamp, and a scoundrel, but she is also a loyal friend, a tireless advocate for causes she believes in, a creative mind, totally middle-aged goals. Her heartbreaking tribute to her longtime frenemy, Bobby Spencer, shows that there is still a great deal of depth to Lucy Coe. Often her own worst enemy, she's always fun to watch, and even when she's making the worst possible choices, Scotty, we're always rooting for her. We absolutely are. And then she goes on to thank us, like, oh my God, thank you for doing this, Kim. This was awesome. And I love the little add-ins. Like, you are right there where we would be.
Yep. That was so much fun.
That was so much fun. And even though we like know Lucy, obviously we didn't know some of the beginning part because we were way younger, but just the refresher, like, oh, I loved her with Doc and I loved her with Martin too.
Yeah.
We need a real love interest for Lucy, not stupid Jens.
Agree. Like she needs maybe Martin will get her out of one of her Lucy troubles and it'll be it.
That would be good.
Because we don't need Kevin and Laura getting divorced.
No. I feel like they've been together too long. That can't happen.
No, but no, Martin can definitely get her out of whatever pickle it is that she decides to get herself into.
Right, especially since he's not seeing anyone either. It's not like he moved on to some great love that we're trying to break up.
Right, exactly.
I'm glad it's settled that the GH writers can just fix that for us.
Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. But yeah, so that was a quick rundown of who is Lucy Coe.
I loved it.
Me too. I guess join us on Monday as we recap this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet at the Pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.